back to the Sad Dad Games podcast. Breaking news, we've all become addicted to a new game. But first, we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Shan.
I'm Eric.
And I'm the newly employed Tucker.
Newly employed Tucker.
He's not the saddest, but he's still a daddest.
He's still a daddest.
Well, okay, you're probably still the saddest because you haven't, really started in earnest. We've had careers for years.
We need to come up with a metric and a rubric to measure our sadness so that we always know who is the saddest daddest. Yeah. I'm the daddest because I have 2 kids. Does that make me the daddest? Is that the rubric we're using?
You're the daddest.
I'll be the daddest.
I'm the least saddest.
Yeah,
Tucker
I'm
was
consistently
the saddest
depressed, so I think I'm going to win the saddest 100% of the time.
He's been checked by therapists. They know what they're talking about. He's clinically
they reached
depressed.
up inside of me and felt the depression inside of me.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
I was able to
just
look at him and tell. He's got a mopey face, and there's just he's like Robin Colin Robinson.
Colin Robinson. Oh my gosh. You guys, I've been binging What We Do in the Shadows. I'm most of the way through season 2. It's my new favorite show. That show is so funny.
It is so crass, so raunchy, and it's exactly what you need as an elder millennial.
This is how we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
You just need to be a little indulgently gross sometimes, and it's I get that from Sunny, and I get it from What We Do in the Shadows. It's yes, give me some of this. It's I can't watch this with my wife, but by myself, yes, I need to feel like a man. I need to watch this terrible stuff, this indulgently crass stuff.
Well, it's just so stupid.
Guillermo secretly being a Van Helsing is probably
hilarious.
One of my favorite plot lines.
Guillermo, what are you doing in there?
Yeah.
And him just accidentally slaying vampires left and right. It's just
Guillermo, do you have something you need to tell us? I love the way Nandor talks. Every word out of his mouth cracks me up. Same with Laszlo, because it's Matt Berry, and he's just. This is not what we planned on talking about. We just like that show.
Yeah, Matt Berry is just being Matt Berry in everything he's ever in, and it's the perfect thing.
What's his line? It's he took a shit on us from a great height.
From a great height.
I can't do his cadence, but just the way that he articulates and the way he's hyperbolic about everything. He has such a colorful language that it's like Ron Swanson, but with exuberance, right? Because he's got this incredible vocabulary, and he chooses his words carefully, and you're oh, okay, I like listening to the way he speaks. He's very thoughtful. Whereas Laszlo does that, but then he does it with this superior British accent, and then he's just constantly using metaphors and hyperbole to just shit talk people, and it's amazing. I love it all.
Yeah. So what we do in the shadows, excellent show. But anyways, what we're actually here to talk about is we all have become deeply embroiled in a new mobile game. So I'm not sure if this will be probably not really an Eric's Indie episode, because it's not an indie game. Maybe this will still be sort of a side episode. Not quite our main series. This will probably be in place of an Eric's Indie episode. So for those of you loyally listening and waiting for an Eric's Indie episode, then you get this instead this week, because we just can't not talk about it. We love it too much.
We have something far more important. It's like Ron Burgundy right before he jumps into the pool. He's I need everybody to shut up and listen. I'm probably butchering. I'm not getting the words right, but and then it's a close up of his face, and he's Cannonball! Anyway, the point is, Pokemon trading card game mobile for your phone. It's something that everybody needs to have. We all need to be trading cards. We need to feel like school kids again. That high of bringing your cards to recess and trading with people that are inferior to your trading skills so that you can level up your collection. I was the master of it. Everybody knew at my elementary school, I was the best collector. I was the best trader. I had the whole system down.
The little tiny con man.
No, because I didn't have money in my family, I couldn't be buying packs. So I was able to turn one pack into 3,000 cards over the course of a couple years. I was the envy of the schoolyard.
Some common shyster.
Some common shyster. Very, very enviable skill. But yeah, I love this game. Pokemon. I guess TGC Pocket is the name of the app. So TGC Pocket, it just taps into this childhood wonder every 12 hours. you can open up another pack of Pokemon cards that has what, like 6 cards in it. I think it's 5 cards. 5 cards in it, and you just like, and then you can collect those cards, you can battle with those cards, you can like make binders full of your favorite cards, and you like probably by the time this episode airs, you'll be able to trade cards with friends. You can battle. I just like, it just reminds me of being a kid and collecting these digital Pokemon cards that are like, well, I didn't, not digital when you were a kid, but like collecting these Pokemon cards and just being so excited every time you open a pack and you're just like, what's going to be inside of it? And it's like, I am deeply, incurably addicted to this game. It's occupying all of my waking thoughts. I just want to collect cards and battle all day long.
The way that you held up your phone, it reminded me of Ben Wyatt in Parks and Rec. He's like, could a depressed person
do this?
No.
No.
Could a depressed person be playing this game? No.
That is literally my phone right now. Because I have had this game for, I think, like 4 or 5 days and have sunk hours and hours and hours into it. I have taken all my other social media offline. I have rarely
what else matters?
And it's Pokemon trading card game pocket, and that's it.
Who is Instagram? I only know Pokemon.
Yeah. I no longer see depressing pictures of my friends living better lives than me. I see Pokemon in their
awesome pictures of Pikachu.
I collected.
Yes.
Hashtag
exactly.
gotta catch 'em all.
They are my, like, I own them. They are mine. They it's like this pride that I feel. It's like a Pokemon father of this collection. It's like, these are my children. Welcome, children, as most would say.
Yeah. What's is it Christopher Walken in SNL where he's like, he's got cowbell fever? I have Pokemon.
I've got a fever, and the cure is more cowbell. Yeah.
I've got a fever. Yeah. I need to get that better. People have said that. No, people have said that in the past I had talked like Christopher Walken and like I had a similar voice. I never actually practiced, and I don't sound like him now. But I bet like that's one of the few impressions I could get if I tried, because like it's one of the easiest and most like banal accents you could try, because it's just like so forced and so, I don't know.
That's the thing. If someone can do voices, then they can probably do a walk-in. Yeah. So with this like Pokemon TGC, I initially kind of resisted at first. One of our our other college roommates named Zach, he like texted all of us one day, was like, hey, do you guys play Pokemon TGC? And we were all like, nah, not really. And, maybe we'll check it out sooner or later. I've never seen a text
thread die out. So.
Yeah. He just like texted us and we were all like, no. And then nothing. That was it. That was the end of the conversation.
I was the only one that took the bait because I actually had heard of it since it was released. And I am vehemently against games on my phone because I already struggle to socially interact with people, and I just don't need one more thing pulling me onto my phone when I already have Reddit. And I hate Reddit. Like, who doesn't hate Reddit and is still on it anyway, right? Like,
Reddit probably hates Reddit.
That social media is like failed as like a source of like anything that's like good information. It's just like every social media is their own echo chamber, and it's just obnoxious, right? But the point is that like, even though I hate it, that still distracts me from my social life, and so I don't do games on my phone. And then along comes this, and it's like, okay, you know what? Since my friend asked, and maybe since they're bringing trading soon, as long as I'm not playing on it, I can at least try it. That was a mistake. It took me like 2 minutes. I was like, this game is going to fuck me up for months. Like, this isn't coming off my phone anytime soon.
Yeah, it was like Pokemon Go when it first came out for that glorious 3 weeks that it was everybody's life. It just instantly sucks you in and you are addicted in the best way possible.
See, this is the glorious thing. This is why like Pokemon is like my
good time boy
franchise. He's a good time boy. As Laszlo would say, right? But it's because like, even though I don't play the current games because Game Freak is kind of like a failure of a studio these days in terms of like innovation. Like, okay, the last couple entries
they're just cranking stuff out and being
but
lazy.
It's like low quality, it's shitty, and like you're like, okay, come on guys, you need to completely reinvent it. And then they reinvented it with Arceus, and
which was amazing.
But it looked like shit. Like,
no, it's the ugliest game I've ever played, but it was very fun.
You realize Pokemon is the most lucrative franchise in history, in human history. No franchise or IP has ever been created more lucrative than this franchise, and they still create the shittiest games. That's obnoxious to me. You have
it's because they'll sell no matter what. Why put a bunch of time and effort into something when you can crank it out super fast and it'll sell just as many units as if you had spent time polishing it?
Why make good games when bad games do good?
Right?
Yeah, and I'm sure
it's the Michael Bay conundrum. Yeah,
I'm sure half of that money also comes from like their collectible like merch and toys, because they're also very fantastic at that game. Went to Japan with Tucker, and like I spent tens of thousands of dollars in Japan, and it wasn't to get there or the hotels or the food. It was collecting
stuffed
Pokemon
animals
shit.
And Pokemon cards.
So I came home a week earlier than Shan did, and I brought a giant suitcase full of Pokemon stuffies home for Shan, so he would have more room to buy more things.
Yes, this is accurate, and I still ended up bringing home like another duffel and a half of plushies. In fact, there is a social media post that my sister put on TikTok of me after I came from home Japan. I had one of those airtight bags full of plushies. It was just like one of my 2 or 3 bags. But I opened it on camera and I just shook it out, and like those things came exploding out of the vacuum bag. I got like 3 million views on that, and I'm not even on I wasn't even on TikTok. Like I was a viral post because I indulged as any millennial with money would in Japan. I treated it like Christmas.
So all that to say, Shan in particular, but all of us are very into this Pokemon TGC situation where we're just super in it. When we got that text from Zach, I held off for a long time, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago I finally was like, oh, I'll download it, and it's all I've been able to think about for the last 3 or 4 days. I just like I just am in it, collecting cards, battling, I think like I said, it's been like 3 or 4 days and I have like 300 cards. I just am like opening packs at every opportunity. I can't get enough of this. I love me some Pokemon TGC, my lovely digital collection of Pokemon cards that will never be real, but that I love anyways.
The physical cards are just as addictive, just so much more expensive.
Just so much more expensive.
Pre having a child and post having money, and during COVID, during all the Pokemon hype, like me and my lizard brain, and not being financially savvy, but being very indulgent as anybody with a lack of impulse control because of ADHD would have, I spent 1 year thousands of dollars on Pokemon cards. And like the breaking point was like I felt like I had to be putting on debt and stuff. And then just like one day I was like, I kind of have money and I really want to complete my old sets. And I walked into a used card store and I bought singles. I spent $400 and I was like, uh-oh, this awoken something in me I haven't felt since I was a child.
Uh-oh. It's something that happens in a lot of millennials' lives where you have a little bit of extra money and then you go to the store and uh-oh, and I'm sure that you can see my shelf behind me. I've had many uh-oh moments where I'm just saying, whoops, I shouldn't have... something's happening. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the healthy way of doing meth. It's just the that hits the spot.
None of us do drugs. It's we can't afford it.
We get that dopamine from nerd collectibles. Yeah.
That's right. In fact, okay, I would need to show this. Wait, that's not all of them, but there were these cards in Japan that we got at a special release. I don't know why I don't have all of them on this page, but like there was this artist Unagaba, and it was only released for 1 day as like a promo set, but he created these derp cards, and I definitely am obsessed with them. I got 3 full sets, and like we were able to complete a couple people's like 9-card evolution set with these Unigaba cards. Pokemon cards, just like Tucker and I in Japan, we would just like, there are card stores in Tokyo and Akihabara and just like all these districts around Tokyo. Like there are card stores like every 3 minutes from each other. So like you're just wandering down the street and you're like, okay, sorry wife, I'm going to wander into that store, so if you don't mind watching our child, I'm going to go spend the fantastic thing is that it was in yen, so I didn't know how much money I was spending.
There's that separation.
The exchange rate was killer, and so it was like, it felt like you were spending Monopoly money.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's not even real money. It doesn't count. Yeah.
So we were just like on this high of like every day, every few minutes, wandering in and out of these card stores, and it's like it's alive in Japan. Like it's not just like a niche thing. It's like everybody is buying cards. Everybody's living the life. And we were just like going to display cases, looking through everything and just like picking out 10 cards, walking out, and just like my card collection exploded those weeks I was there.
Yeah, I, as a child, never had Pokemon cards. I had friends that had Pokemon cards. I'm not sure why I didn't have any. My mom probably didn't let me have them because school outlawed them.
My school did the same thing because it was people were trading during class, and at a certain point it was just like no Pokemon cards, and so you had to do like recess, like during your recess, like back alley Pokemon card drug deals where you're like, hey man, I got a Pikachu. Did you bring that Eevee? Like,
there's a great Bob Burgers episode of Barogu cards where Luis just trading them.
Oh yeah, yes.
Go watch that episode.
Exactly the same.
Exactly
thing.
how it was. Yeah, exactly the same.
It wasn't outlawed at my place, but like there was a lot of nefarious shit that happened on the schoolyard in elementary school when like as like during the height of the Pokemon craze, right? People were stealing cards from each other every single day. Like it was just like it was the black market. It was mafia shit. Like you had to protect your bounty with your life because the 6th graders would come for you, and they would like sleeve your cards while looking at them, and it was a hot
sneaky
mess.
Diabolical.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like before we move on to showing off our favorite cards in our digital collection, we need to hear the story about how you obtained your Charizard, Shan, like your physical Charizard card.
Yeah, so I am a very fortunate human being in that despite not having a whole lot of money or being able to get a lot of cards, my mom definitely put out and tried to do her best to like give us that dopamine hit when she could afford to, and they were only like $3 a pack. So there was one time, like it was near the end of the run of the base set, and but I don't think that was on my radar. How could I know without internet, right? But like she gave me money for, I think it was like my birthday, and I ran into a mall right before it closed, and I went to, I think it was an EB Toys or what, it wasn't a GameStop because that wasn't really a thing. It was like, what was the toy store that was in the mall?
I think EB Toys.
EB Toys?
EB Toys sounds
I thought it was
right.
like TC something.
I don't know. Maybe there was one.
TCBY, which was like an ice cream shop. That's probably it. I was a fat child.
Okay. Well, I was in Idaho, but anyway, the point is that I run into the mall. Everything's starting to close. I'm the last person there. I point at a pack that I want. I never get what I want out of these packs, but it's like I need that dopamine hit. Point it out. I'm by myself in the mall, walking out as the store is closing, and I pull out a mint Charizard from the base set. And it was one of those, like, it's like 9/11, right? Like where you have like a flashbulb memory of an event in your life.
It's exactly the same. Pulling a Charizard is the same as 9/11. They're synonymous in Shan's brain. Same event. Yeah.
In that, when it happens, it's a flashbulb memory moment where you can't forget where you are and how you felt, and like you remember your peripheral of like everything that's happening while it's unfolding. And so it's like I pull this Charizard and my heart like drops, and like I knew that this card could never touch another physical object so much as like for the rest of its existence. And so like at a point where like I had sold off my set on eBay for like money that I didn't need, and I ended up getting it back 10 years later. I reached out to the person. I was like, can I buy my cards back? Even though I did that, I never gave up this card. Obviously this one was invaluable to me. I know that like it's not a first edition, it's not a shadowless, and I know that like during the craze in the 90s those only reach about 900, and I think the shadowless first edition Charizards were going for $240, which is insane. I wish that I had the money at the time, because now those things go for like in as like a PSA graded 10 mint, those things go for tens of thousands now. But the point is that I have my non first edition Charizard, and I've since completed the collection. My base set's complete, and I went up to third generation, so I got the fossil and the jungle sets complete. Next frontier is second generation of Pokemon, so I'd have to go Neo Revelations, Neo Genesis, but like this is getting expensive. I need to pace myself. I need to come into my next windfall of cash before I start jumping on eBay to spend another $20 to $30 per card. That got really expensive.
Adds up quick, which is the great thing about Pokemon TCG Pocket, is because they're free. I mean, you can spend money to unlock cards and open more packs if you really want to. They have those microtransactions, but they're not super intrusive. It's pretty easy to ignore them and just open your packs twice a day and get the cards that you get, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
There's mechanics that you open more packs a day that are free. By accomplishing certain missions. I love the non-invasive microtransactions. I feel like they really took into consideration children are going to be playing this game, so let's make the pay for stuff as hard to get to as possible.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like they know that they don't need to make it intrusive, because Pokemon brings out this neurotic and crazed inner child that will spend money on it regardless. This is the first time I've ever considered spending money on an app, and I got very close. And then I realized I could also spend that money on real cards and actually have cards.
And that's what changed. Yeah, that was never mind. No, it's the same. I'm not a fan of microtransactions in games and stuff, but I was like, well, maybe I'll just buy like one time to support the app. I like what they're doing. Give them a little, like maybe just one time. So, and I might still, I like supporting developers doing things that I like. So maybe I'll shoot a one-time purchase their way. You give them $10 or whatever, just to be like, I like it. Keep doing it. Well, but the cool thing about it is you don't have to. You can just completely ignore that and open free cards. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I love that these mobile apps live and die by the whales that are able to subsidize everybody else playing for free. Because like it doesn't have ads, right? So it's just a free app where people go crazy.
Elon Musk is probably paying some poor schlub to open up packs for him.
I love the idea.
Seems like something he would do.
I love the idea of he's got someone's whole job is to just stand next to him and keep buying and opening up packs of Pokemon cards until he gets the ones that he wants.
Would be the first time he played somebody to play a video game for him.
No, that's what Tucker's getting at. The joke in the video game community right now is that what is it, League of Legends or something like that?
I have no idea.
He was allegedly paying somebody to play for him so that he could be one of the 10 best Diablo players in the world. It's like you really have to, like, I don't doubt that he maybe plays games once every few months, but like this guy runs what, 8 companies, has 20 children, has $500 billion. He's not one of the 10 best countries. Yeah. I think he's at 4 now, because he's US, Canada, Germany, and England. And did he dabble in French? I don't think so. But it's like you've got your hand in every single pie. I think you're fine. You're probably not the top 10 best Diablo players, and that's fine. You don't have to be. Nobody cares.
He totally does. He has to.
Nobody
be.
has to like you if you have $500 billion.
Yeah.
But that's what Tucker's getting is like, he's probably paying somebody to open packs every day, so he could be like, hey, look, I'm one of the best TGC Pocket players in the world. I have the best collection.
Fine by me. He's paying for the app and making it free for the rest of us. I think if that's what's happening, he should keep doing it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's
yeah.
Also, from what I hear, I don't know if this is true. I'd want to look into it, but like I don't know if it was a joke or something I heard years ago, but it's like a lot of these whales that these mobile games get are in Saudi Arabia, where they have that oil money, and those people are like just throwing tens of thousands at games because who cares?
Because why not? Yeah,
billionaires, right? I love that idea. Keep allowing us
do it.
To live.
Buy all the Pokemon cards. Make it free for the rest of us.
I approve of this form of capitalism.
Yeah. As long as it directly relates to Pokemon cards. Yeah.
That's exactly right. But so this is the beautiful thing about Pokemon. As I was trying to say earlier, it's like this is why it's one of my favorite franchises, is because like even though the games are shit, and like this is the topic I'm going back to because I didn't finish that thought. It's like even though those games are shit after so many years, it's like Pokemon has created all of these seminal moments in my entire life of the most like nostalgic, impactful, like what the heck did they release? Like my life has changed for the next month. They like, and that first it was like Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Sapphire, like those games like destroyed my life for a while. But then afterwards we get Twitch Plays Pokemon, and I accomplished nothing in college for 2 weeks straight. It was
I remember
incredibly
that.
addictive.
I was there. It was Shan and I had all the same classes
event.
because Shan switched majors to be my major as well, and
Yeah.
I sat next to him in every class, and it was just Twitch Plays Pokemon 100% of the time, and I was the dumb schlup that had to take notes for both of us and make sure
Shan was like, I'm really busy. I've got other things to do. Yeah.
Well, like it was addictive because it's like you were watching the lore expand in real time of like you'd watch the stream and then like the chat on the side, like if anything happened that was significant, the chat would just like spam out like this is what it is, and or this is what that Pokemon's name is or whatever. Like they would just spam things out until like and then things would catch your eye as it's flying past at like a message every microsecond, and the hive mind would latch onto the thing that it liked the most, and then the hive mind would collectively start spamming the same thing that they agreed on, and it would become lore. And so it's like I don't know, things like Praise Helix and or like I don't know, the lore behind like Flareon being the false prophet. All of these like tiny little lore things were because the hive mind collectively decided it. Like the Start 9 riots, the hive mind decided they wanted anarchy, even though there's a possibility of failing the game in anarchy mode because of the Safari Zone and running out of money. The only way to get money in the game after you've exhausted all the supply in the game is to get a Meowth with Payday and to just like spam Pokemon to pull out like 50 yen at a time. But like in anarchy mode, you might lose that money too. And it's like you only have a finite number of steps to get to the Safari Zone. So they introduced democracy mode that you could vote to switch into for moments in the game where it was otherwise seemingly impossible to get through, but the purists preferred anarchy. And so just I love the lore. I was addicted. I got nothing accomplished. I couldn't sleep at night.
He's just sitting there watching the Twitch feed.
Yeah, I would love to do an episode on that, really deep dive on the lore, because like it created this expansive, beautiful story. It's a tapestry. Anyway, then there was Pokemon Go. I was living, I had moved somewhere else where I knew nobody, and just like all of a sudden this game gets dropped, and I was like, Heather, my wife, I was like, this just changed my life, and I'm not going to see you very much for the next.
I'll see you in a month. Yeah.
And so like I had to buy a battery pack to plug into my phone at all times, and then I jumped on my bike.
Yep.
Yeah, I used my running my
Hang
phone.
on. If you tried to ride your bike indoors, did Professor Oak call you up and say now's not the time to do that?
Ash, now's not the time. But anyway, so I used my running band for my phone, and I put it on my forearm so that I could ride my bike, and I had my my battery in my pocket, and like I just like ride my bike around this campus because that's where all the hotspots were in this small town. And every time I ran into a Pokemon, it's like there were these clusters of people all around campus that were playing, and I would stop. I'd swipe up to catch, and then I'd ride my bike to the next Pokestop or to find the next Pokemon. And the app was a buggy mess. Like, it would crash every 5 minutes. It would drain your phone. It would be exhausting for data. But like, it didn't matter for a few weeks. Like, it was the most connected I've ever felt in America. Like in America. Like, it's what I'm nostalgic for, is like a time. It was the last time in American history where everybody like loved each other, and everybody, like, you would just like, you'd see somebody look at their phone in a specific way while you were out walking around. You're like, that person's playing Pokemon Go, and I know it. But at that time it was even more obvious, because you'd walk around and there were hundreds of people all around all the time. It's like the last time everybody was outside.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Beanie Baby craze. I think it was like that was like the last time before Pokemon Go where it was captured the attention of an entire nation.
Yeah,
or just
and it
everybody.
made us better people.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just nerds either. It was like moms and dads and grandparents and little kids. They all had their phones out, and they were like going to Pokestops and catch Pokemon. I remember, like, I took my dog out to walk one time at night, and when I first moved to North Carolina, we accidentally moved to kind of like a sketchy part of town. And I went to go take my dog out on a walk, like in the evening, but then it became nighttime. And so some ghost Pokemon started coming out, and I came back like an hour and a half later, and Liz was like, "Where have you been? You weren't answering your phone." I was like, I caught a ghastly. Like, and so just putting myself in actual physical danger so that I could catch a ghastly. Like,
every gangbanger at the time was playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, they were too busy. They weren't paying attention to me.
Well, it's like there were like allegedly like police officers were like abdicating their duty to protect the citizenry because they were playing Pokemon Go instead.
Oh my gosh, wasn't that the same time there was all the crazy clown stuff going on because of, like, I think the movie
was that around the same time?
I think it was around the same time.
There might have been some overlap. I don't remember.
What a year,
man. So Pokemon Craze.
I don't know if that was 2016. That was, but anyway, I wanted to get to another. Google released.
Shan has lots of Pokemon thoughts.
No. Well, okay. So
no, you're good, man. Keep going. I'm not telling you to stop. Remember April Fool's Day for Google when they released Pokemon on Google Maps? Did anybody get caught up in that? No.
So
I don't remember.
You could open up Google Maps and you could just like pinch and zoom everywhere in the world and to find Pokemon sprites, and then you just like tap them to collect them, and you had to collect, and there was only the first generation, so 151. There was like only one place, if I remember right, there was only like one place in the entire world where you could find a Mew or something like that.
Was
but,
the Mew underneath a car?
I hope so, right? Like under a truck that you can't move, but like all the schoolyard legend would have it that you could get that Mew, and that there was a Pika-Blue, but that's impossible. Like Pika-Blue never exists, and the lore around missing though, right? Like, okay, whole different topic, but the point is that like I was at work as a waiter, and it's like I just straight up didn't serve my tables because I was pinching and zooming to collect Pokemon on my phone.
It's not quite as bad as the police officers who were ignoring their duties, but you know, still not great.
But this is what Pokemon has done for me my entire life. It's like you could be not thinking about Pokemon for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden a new app releases and your life is changed, and it's addictive, and it puts its hooks in your brain, and everybody drops everything to join in on it at the same time. And that's what this game is.
Yes, it's something else. I'm super into it. I thought that I'd be kind of indifferent towards it, and am definitely not. It's consuming all of my thoughts. It's all I want to do. So this won't be as exciting for people not listening on YouTube, but maybe should we take a sec to show everyone our favorite couple of cards or something?
Yes, let's do it.
So I'm going to go first because mine, I don't want to be upstaged before I even start. Shan and Tucker have cooler cards than me, so I'm going to go first. But I have a couple that I'm a big fan of. I have this Moltres, which I think is super cool. It's like a Moltres EX. It has a full art. It's got like a sweet rainbow background.
I'm buying that one.
I just pulled this one from a pack. Super lucky. Just very, very cool. I like that one a lot.
I don't have any rainbow edge ones yet.
And then I have this one. I like the 3D effects on some of these ones. Like I'm a big fan of fire Pokemon as well. I like Arcanine. And so I like this one because when you move it around, it has like it's like
Parallax.
Yeah, there's that sweet parallax effect when you move the card. So very cool. So those are a couple of my favorite ones. I've got a few other ones that I really like, but yeah, it just gets your hooks into it. I love the artwork on these. I love collecting the cards. I love getting Pokemon that I think are cool. Like I've always loved Moltres, and so that Moltres card when I pulled it was just so exciting, and like super awesome cards. So now Shannon Tucker, go ahead and show everyone how much cooler your cards are than mine.
Tucker has the best ones, even though he's played for equally the least amount of time, which is infuriating.
Well, Tucker only just very recently became employed, so he had lots of free time.
Yeah, I have all day.
Yeah.
You're still limited to like 2 packs a day, so how you got all these cards is
Well,
still
not if you use the little hourglass things that you get from winning battles. I one point had like 300, and I just went ham.
It's Elon Musk and Tucker are keeping this app alive.
Yeah.
That's the
Praise Musk, praise Tucker.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so here are some of my best cards. But the real winner, okay, obviously I love the full art ones, especially when they've got a little bit of derp. Yeah. But this is the rarest card I own. And the rarest cards, there's only a handful of them, but they've got animation that you can replay. Like, this is hype music. This is good stuff.
I didn't realize it had music. I've been playing on mute the whole time.
Idiot.
Like an idiot.
That is such a dynamic image. There's so much going on.
like that's the coolest Pokemon card there's ever been.
That's correct.
I am the most basic person in the world, and as exampled by my favorite Pokemon is Charizard. It's just what it is. I've got a Charizard action figure right there.
You're a basic bitch, and that's
I'm
fine.
a basic bitch, and I love Charizard. It's, you know what?
Spice of men.
I am, and you know what? Charizard's awesome. He's a giant orange dragon. What's not awesome about that? All right.
Yeah.
Now Tucker's got some cards to show off too.
Okay, so these are my rarest ones, and they're in order of rarity. Trying to get a good angle here with the light. So this Pikachu, it's a gold one. I think they're the rarest one.
Give us a bigger view. Tap on it. Let us see it. Nice.
So, yeah. Hold on, I gotta.
None of us have a gold card except Tucker. There's only 4 of them.
And then these 3, I have the same Charizard Shan has, and then the Cerebi. This is probably the better animation one than the Mewtwo one.
Did you say Cerebi?
What is it?
Celebi?
Celebi.
Jackass.
Like celibate?
I guess in Japanese it's probably like Cerebi, but you're not Japanese, so you have to say Celebi.
That's so cool.
Just in the nice little forest.
As a Mankey, I love Mankey.
And there's the little Mew that's flying around.
Gosh, that's so cool. I want one of those cards with the animations so bad.
But yeah, so I just have all my full art cards here. Whoops.
Turn the sound on and do the Mewtwo one. Can you unmute your phone? I want to see the Mewtwo one with the sound on.
Okay, this is the Mewtwo one.
This is probably anyone listening on not YouTube. I'm really sorry. Promise it looks cool.
So spooky.
So true.
Dubsteppy.
Oh, and how about the Pokemon first movie and Pokemon 2000 when those movies came out? Those were very important movies in my childhood.
Yeah. So cool. Just all the way jealous. So this game is the best game. We love it. Pokemon is amazing. It just taps into this like childlike part of my brain where I want to catch all the cards. I just am super... I feel like I'm a broken record. I love this. That's all I want to do is I want to play Pokemon TGC.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because they know that they're going to receive money on the back end when all of us run out to kill each other at Costco for some cards, as has happened this week.
Happens.
Yep.
I really wish it wasn't as popular as it was so I could get the cards that I want, because some of these recent sets are dope. They are incredible.
Well, and I think that probably by the time this episode airs, or at least shortly afterwards, they'll have introduced trading into Pokemon TGC Pocket. And so that's a cool new feature. Be able to trade cards with your friends. So
Yep. So Shan can take advantage of all of us.
Yeah. So,
Did you call it TGC? So it's like trading game card.
oh, yep. Put TCG. My bad. TCG pocket.
Dumbass.
Trading game card. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. You know what I said? That was on purpose. That's how it's supposed to be said. It's actually the proper pronunciation. Yeah, and it's aquariums.
It's in the Japanese.
No.
The original Japanese.
You got one thing right. You got one thing incredibly wrong. It's Aquaria.
Well, do we wrap it up here? Is that all we have to say about the Pokemon?
We've been going for this long about Pokemon, and in the shadows.
This is just scratching the surface for me. We could
keep
rant
going
about Pokemon because, like, kind of just say there was like a moment, like childhood, where I was the most obsessive kid about Pokemon. I had the most cards. I was going to trade events and battle things. And it's just like I was all in, and it was my entire life. And then then you get to middle school and the Pokemon fad crashes, and suddenly you were a little shit if you still liked Pokemon, but I still liked it. And I didn't like being I was very heterodox compared to the average kid. So like if they all agreed that we should move on from Pokemon, I was like, no, I don't really agree with this. They all like Star Wars. I don't really like Star Wars at the time. So I was always just counterculture at that in a way, except Pokemon, I guess it was with trend, right? But the point is that I get to middle school, it drops off a cliff, and I had to take it to myself and love it. And I kept my friends around, and I kept them obsessed with it, or I got them reinvested in it. Eric, you would know Alan and Daniel.
I remember Alan and Daniel.
Felipe, I got all three of those reinvested in Pokemon. So we would do it outside of school, and like at school lunches we would talk about it, but we'd keep it secret because like people would make fun of us.
Keep it safe.
It was always important to me. I didn't ever let Pokemon go. And I feel like I've been vindicated. I've been vindicated in my adulthood because it's like it's come back. It's stronger than it's ever been. Everybody loves it. And like now millennials are starting to admit that it's okay to love those things that you were supposed to let go of as a kid and go all in again. And it's just, I hate that like Gen Z.
It's very validating. It's like, yeah.
I hate that Gen Z or the youngest millennials think it's like cool to like Twilight. Like it's not cool to like Twilight. Those movies suck ass. The books are okay, but they also suck ass. Like
I'm going to put glitter on myself like Twilight.
Like we have Pokemon and Ninja Turtles and all of that glorious stuff, and they have Twilight, so they suck. Like
it's like Twilight and
stop
Shrek.
pretending
And
that's
like,
a thing.
Yeah.
Jump on the millennial bandwagon.
Actually, Shrek is pretty great. I didn't mean
amazing.
to lump Shrek in with Twilight. I'm just saying that's like a big Gen Z thing too. But Shrek also, the first two movies are very good. So
they're very good.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if that was the full train of thought. It's just that I like that it's okay for it to be cool again, even for us at our age.
Yep.
Full circle.
Pokemon. We love the Pokemon. Shan especially loves the Pokemon, and none of us can stop opening fake packs of Pokemon cards. It's just, we're all in it.
It's a disease.
It's a disease. It's a delightful disease that I never want to be cured of.
Well, and like I realized that Pokemon unlocked like this primal neurotic collecting part of my brain where it's like, or maybe that was just always there genetically, but like when it clicked as a child, it's like, okay, it started with cards, then it was in the games. I was collecting all the Pokemon. Then it moved on to like I was collecting state quarters, and gosh, now it's like I'm collecting retro video games. Like I'm collecting like Amiibo over here.
I love Amiibo.
I think
but the point is that like no,
like Aquarii.
Amiibos.
So the worst thing that Pokemon has done in my life is that it has made my life more expensive, because every time I get to something that's worth collecting, I have to collect all of it because you gotta catch them all, and that is a very expensive lifestyle.
The phrase.
Hashtag gotta catch 'em all.
we're saying catch Emal because there's like this. You should watch it. Rusty. What is it? Pokemon Rusty.
What is the? Yeah, it's like a mock of like Pokemon Red, but it's Pokemon Rusty, and he's a Pokemon trainer. He's just way worse at it. But it's a bunch of like YouTube videos. Their little animations in there.
Is that the one?
Very
Like,
stupid.
Pokemon,
And very
choose you, or Pikachu, I choose you.
Pikachu use headbutt.
But like his Pikachu is a Metapod, but he named it Pikachu, and he like throws it at a tree, and it like I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember all of it exactly, but like. Imagine
it's very funny to describe shot for shot, so we'll just sit here and do that.
Imagine the incompetence
like
of
all
Ash, but like exponentially worse. And so Rusty is like the worst version of an already incompetent Ash, and he just like goes out to be the best Pokemon trainer, but he like is perennially a failure at everything he does. And so there's like 6 or so episodes of him just like wandering the world, failing at everything, killing Pokemon, stuffing like 100 Pokemon into a single Pokeball.
It's like 100 Bidoof in one Pokeball. Yeah. You expect me not to catch every Bidoof I see? We're getting off. We're going to talk for hours about nothing, but Pokemon Rusty, go watch it. It's funny.
Yeah.
I think we need to close this episode out with Shan doing the Pokemon rap for us.
Yep.
Which I know
all the
memorized.
Pokemon. Can you actually do all of them?
Catch 'em all, Pokemon. Let's see.
Sorry, I threw off your groove.
I'm trying to think of like how one of the phrases starts. We're probably gonna have to put a clip here.
Aerodactyl, Ammonite, slow, bro. I don't remember all of it, but
okay, I'm just gonna pull it up because I'm pretty sure if you know how it starts, you're just gonna pick it right up.
Is this gonna be clipped into its own video?
Here we go. Yes. Be it fast, what never was.
All right, Tucker, now pause it. Let Shan do his thing.
Yeah. Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seaking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree.
And then there's more. Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
I'll search across the land, look far and wide, release from my hand the power that's inside. Venomoth, Poliwag, Nidorina, Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victreebel, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch, Abra, Jigglypuff, Kingler, Rhyhorn, Clefable, Wigglytuff. Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Zubat, Primeape, Meowth, Onix, Geodude, Rapidash, Magneton, Snorlax, Gengar, Tangela, Goldeen, Spearow, Weezing, Seal, Gyarados, Slowbro. I don't think we should keep doing this.
I think, and on that note, we'll just...
Some of those verses slap harder than others. Also, Jason Lee, right? He did the Pokemon theme song.
Yeah. Definitely
go watch that video because that guy has an insane voice, and when you watch him perform it, you're like, this rocks harder than any rock star that currently lives. Like, that guy, how did they find this talent, and how has he never been famous beyond this song?
It goes harder than it has any right to.
Yeah. You've all seen the video of him
that
performing?
thing just been paying the bills for years and years.
Why would he ever write another song? Yeah. he did it right on the first try, and then he retired.
Think he wrote it, but the music. Oh my gosh! Like Pokemon soundtrack, like the movies, the TV show, like all of it goes so hard. Anyway, that's another.
It's
topic.
Weird when the Indigo League, the worst part is the actual show, and everything else ancillary is amazing.
Right?
Except for Bye Bye Butterfree. That will tear people's hearts out.
You're saying that episode destroyed you, but what about Pikachu's Goodbye?
Oh yeah, Pikachu's Goodbye is a rough one.
That's like it's like in the episode 26 or something like that. That episode, even as a full grown ass adult, that will probably wreck you because we see the test of Ash's and Pikachu's relationship put to its absolute limits of like, can Pikachu live in this Pikachu paradise? Can he have it all? Or does he still prefer the incompetence of Ash? And Ash tries to White Fang Pikachu, and Pikachu comes back. And when he comes back, you will be brought to tears. And And in that like montage before, like while Ash is running away, it plays Pikachu's goodbye, and it has a montage of all their best moments from only like 25 episodes.
So
It
I wish I could
wrecks
show you guys. I literally have goosebumps just thinking of this episode right now.
Right? Because that moment where like you see a silhouette of Pikachu on the sunrise, and Ash, like his cap is like covering his eyes in shade because he's like weeping because he's like, I've left Pikachu, he's gonna be happier. Pikachu shows up at the sunrise, and he's just gleaming. He goes running at Ash, and he jumps into his arms. It's this slow motion shot of him like grabbing Pikachu, and the whole world was just wrecked by this moment. This is powerful shit, you know. People need to take it seriously. And I learned how to play Pikachu's Goodbye on the recorder. That was my favorite song to play on the recorder.
Cool.
Did you deck out your recorder to look like a Poke Flute? Because if you didn't, what were you even doing?
No, I didn't.
Gotta wake up the Snorlax.
Yeah.
Your Poke Flute.
Can't be waking up the Snorlax. That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, you don't want to go waking up a Snorlax every single time you want to play the flute. It's ridiculous.
Pokemon, always happy vibes. But that's going to do it for us, or else I'm just going to keep coming up
I was going to say, it's been about an hour. We went way longer than we ever thought we would. That's how much we love this.
This is going to turn into like a regular episode.
I was going to say, should this just be a regular episode? Yeah.
Did we even talk about the developer on this? For Eric's
wait, hang on. I wrote it down. It's Creatures Inc. We did it.
Way to go, Creatures Inc.
You did it. You made us happy again. It's been so long.
It's been so long. We're the saddest dads, but now we're not. We're happy dads with all of our fake Pokemon cards.
Okay, bye.
All right, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. YouTube, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Like, comment,
Eric's
subscribe.
Indie Corners.
Eric's Indie Corners.
On Thursdays.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Outro. Bleepy doof, bleepity bloopity blow.